It was a quiet, crisp morning when Ethan Hayes awoke in a dimly lit motel room. The stale scent of cigarettes hung in the air, mingling with the faint aroma of coffee from the diner next door. But something was wrong. Terribly wrong. His head throbbed. His memories were hazy, and the lifeless body of a man he didn't recognize lay sprawled on the floor beside him. Panic surged through Ethan as he scrambled to his feet. Who was this man? How did he get here? And most importantly, why was Ethan in this room at all? As the questions swirled in his mind, the piercing wail of police sirens drew closer, snapping him out of his daze. Within minutes, the police arrived, their boots echoing ominously down the narrow hallway. Ethan had no choice but to surrender himself. "I didn't do this," he pleaded, his voice cracking with desperation, but the evidence seemed damning. His fingerprints on the knife, blood on his shirt, and no recollection of the previous night. The clock began ticking as Detective Clara Monroe took charge of the case. Known for her relentless pursuit of justice, she was determined to uncover the truth. Ethan, meanwhile, was granted one chance to prove his innocence. A 12-hour window to retrace his steps, find the real killer, and clear his name. With the help of his tech-savvy best friend, Sam, Ethan began piecing together the fragments of the previous night. They started at the motel's security footage, which revealed Ethan entering the room at 11:45 p.m., but not alone. A shadowy figure trailed behind him, face obscured by a hood. The timestamp gave him hope. It was a lead, however faint. Next, they visited the diner next door. The waitress, a sharp-eyed woman named Ruby, recalled seeing Ethan arguing with a man earlier that evening. "He was agitated," she said, "but not violent. They left together and I assumed they'd sorted it out." Armed with this information, Ethan and Sam dug deeper, uncovering that the victim was a private investigator named Gerald Kane. Gerald had been hired to look into shady dealings at Ethan's company. Could it have been a frame-up? Was someone trying to silence both Gerald and Ethan? As the hours slipped away, Ethan's memories began to return in fragmented bursts. He remembered meeting Gerald at the diner, their heated discussion about the investigation, and then a sharp pain to the back of his head. Someone had struck him, dragging him into the motel room to set the stage for murder. With just 2 hours left, they uncovered a critical piece of evidence, a discarded burner phone in a nearby dumpster. Sam cracked its encryption, revealing messages implicating Ethan's supervisor, a man named Victor Drake. Victor had been embezzling company funds and had hired a hitman to eliminate Gerald. When Ethan got too close, he became collateral damage. Ethan raced back to Detective Monroe, presenting the burner phone, security footage, and Ruby's testimony. Monroe listened intently, her sharp eyes narrowing as she pieced together the puzzle. With minutes to spare, she ordered Victor's arrest. As the cuffs clicked around Victor's wrists, Ethan felt the weight of the world lift from his shoulders. He was free, his name cleared, and the real killer brought to justice. But the ordeal left him changed, more vigilant, more aware of the fragility of truth and trust. And so, Ethan walked away from that harrowing day with a renewed sense of purpose. But one question lingered in his mind. How close had he come to losing everything? All because of a carefully orchestrated web of lies. Ladies and gentlemen, the next time you think you know the truth, remember Ethan Hayes. And remember that sometimes proving your innocence is the hardest battle of all.